to snatch and how to do basic gymnastic movements like, a muscle up and, kipping.
Yeah.
But that's purely skill acquisition. You can simply do that just by practicing that skill. If
Yeah.
you already possess the requisite strength to do those movements, you can learn those quite quickly. And
Yeah.
so that's why I did CrossFit. My first CrossFit competition was in 2012, at the end of 2012. And then I qualified for regionals in 2013. I tied for second. Technically, I got third, but the only reason I got third was because I did very poorly on the first workout from a very bad strategy because I'd never been on a rowing machine
Mm.
at that time. And then 2014, I had my most success where I won my region in the open, and then I had an injury, wasn't able to compete. But then I later went on to win the Dubai CrossFit Championship.
Wow. Good for you, dude. That's crazy. I didn't know that about you. Do you think something that you just said is that you had the requisite strength, right? You had the
Yep.
strength already, and then it was skill acquisition from there. One thing that I have a hard time reconciling with a lot of this CrossFit stuff is the 10 foundational movements or like whatever to fitness, what
Yeah.
is it? I forget
Yeah.
what it
Those
is.
are complete. That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, so
Those are
something
all, those are all,
yeah, one thing that
doesn't make any sense.
I have such a hard time reconciling with this because I tend to agree with you on the fact that strength training is probably the best thing that you can do for somebody because literally the barrier to entry just to live life is having enough strength to live life. So, and
Absolutely.
I use this example, and I know that it's an extreme, it's hyperbole basically, right? But a baby needs to be strong enough to go from crawling to walking. So I know that a lot of people are going to be like, that's an extreme example. Strength isn't the prerequisite because somebody's aerobic capacity could be limited or somebody's gymnastics, all this stuff.
No,
But literally, you have to be strong enough to be a marathon runner. You have to be
dude, you
strong
have to
enough to
be.
do anything.
Think about it. Think about it like this, Justin. This is a very simple way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think your 90-year-old grandpa cares about more? PRing his 5K run or being strong enough to stand up out of a chair and pick up his grandkids? Which one's more important to that person?
Yeah, definitely being strong enough for sure.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Being strong enough, strength is the platform of everything.
Yeah.
As for just general population humans, they
Yeah.
don't need to be going to do a bunch of conditioning or metcons or constantly varied bullshit.
Right.
They just need to maintain and preserve muscle mass, also known as strength, to be able to move their body.
Yeah.
Okay?
Hmm.
Because being able to move your body allows you to do everything. It allows you to do cardio.
Yeah.
And the reason why people get sick and die is because they stop moving their body because they don't possess the baseline strength to continue moving. Moving their body becomes impossible. And
Yeah.
so when you stop moving your body, that is when disease and sickness sets in. That's why people get sick.
Yeah.
Also, the incredibly fucked up food system in America only exacerbates that. But
100%.
dude, I guarantee you can have a 50-year-old guy who eats like shit, smokes cigarettes, but if he works out and moves his body, he's going to be healthier than the 50-year-old guy who eats perfectly but doesn't exercise. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I
Dude,
agree
that's a
with you.
fact. Okay?
I think one of the points of contention that they have is that aerobic fitness is super important. And I'm not what
It's
I
not though.
well, okay, so what I'm not getting from you in terms of like what the misrepresentation from you is that I don't believe that you're saying that cardio is not important.
Dude,
You know,
I'll tell you what I'm saying because I was misrepresented. People think that I hate cardio.
yeah,
They think I don't do cardio. Anyone, you can follow me on Instagram or YouTube. Dude, I do a shitload of cardio. And I
yeah,
guarantee I'm fitter than 99.999% of people.
yeah,
Okay?
yep,
I spend time on a rowing machine 3 or 4 days a week, rowing my ass off. And my
yeah,
goal is to hit, dude, I've already hit a 626 2K row. Most CrossFit Games athletes can't even do that. Not right now. They cannot do that. Okay.
yeah,
I
yep,
have aerobic capacity. I've competed in CrossFit and I've won. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn or sound arrogant, but I will tell you, I am very fit. I've done a shitload of cardio, and it is important. However, you should never prioritize cardio or the Metcon over strength,
Yeah.
because strength is the platform that everything else is built upon. And I apologize to anyone listening to this if I sound like an arrogant asshole. It's not my intention. Okay.
Yep.
The truth is, man, to train for optimal health, you got to prioritize strength. That needs to be basically 70 to 80% of how you spend your time training. And then 20 to 30% can be your conditioning or your Metcon. I'm not saying it's not important, because it is important. However, it's not as important as strength. Strength is more fundamental. It's the most fundamental everything. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed, dude. And I think one thing that is like grossly misrepresented in the CrossFit community, and this came up in your debate actually on Savan's podcast, was that fitness is a correlate to health. So I think that it's a good thing to.
No, it's not though. It's not though.
I agree. I think that it's really a good thing to define health. But the first thing that I want to say is that if it were true that fitness and health were directly correlated, then that means that it would be ever going, right? So like the fitter you get, which would mean that the healthier that you get. But when you look at even people like marathon runners and even people at the top echelon for any sport, a lot of them tend to be quite unhealthy. If you're saying that health is the absence of disease or injury and things of that nature, a lot of them tend to be very unhealthy. So if they were both to be correlated rather than or causal of each other, right, rather than correlated, there wouldn't be diminishing returns at a certain point, right? And that's a thing that I think that the CrossFit community is getting messed up. Do I think that CrossFitters in general may be more fit than, I don't know, somebody who just does bodybuilding-esque exercises and doesn't prioritize cardio at all? Maybe, but it's not.
But again, that's all contingent on an arbitrary definition of health.
Yeah. So what's your definition of health?
Dude, my definition of health is being able to perform everyday life activities and maintaining enough foundational strength to live your life, all right, as long as possible, and live it as long as possible and as well as possible. Okay. Yeah. So dude, my goal right now is to live to be 90 to 100 years old and still deadlift over double my body weight. All right. To be strong enough to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
100%. Muscle is the largest organ on your body. Skeletal muscle is the largest organ on your body. And anyone that knows anything, okay, understands that muscle is the organ of longevity.
Yeah.
Muscle allows you to move your body. So the longer you can maintain and preserve muscle mass, all right, the longer you're going to keep moving. And the longer you keep moving, the longer you're going to live. It is that fundamental. Mm-hmm. I don't even understand how that is a debate.
Well, what's interesting to me with the point that you're making, that muscle is the organ of longevity. Dude, you even see there's studies on people who just do, I don't know, your normal strength training or even hypertrophy work, and the adaptations that it makes on your aerobic systems too, and how it helps your cardiovascular health, does. Everything. So I don't understand that either. And the problem that I have, again, I'm a proponent of CrossFit. I love CrossFit because I think it drives so many things like community aspect and all these different things, right? It's just good for the average person, in my opinion.
CrossFit's for the average. Dude, CrossFit, I'll be the first to tell you, the impact that the exercise regimen of CrossFit has had on the world as a whole is better than any other exercise regimen, bar none.
Yeah.
Okay. It's had a very positive impact because, like I said, it's gotten more people to get up off their ass and start moving.
Yeah.
That is great. However, it has some fundamental flaws, and people just want to sit here and misrepresent me and take me out of context and accuse me of talking shit about CrossFit. I'm not talking shit about CrossFit. I'm just pointing out that it has some fundamental flaws because I'm actually looking at it for what it is. Yeah. I'm looking at it through an objective lens, and I've done a shitload of CrossFit. I know exactly what it is. And, all right? And I've also ventured out of it, and I can see the whole picture. When people love and do CrossFit and that's all they do, they have tunnel vision. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
They are incapable of looking at something from an objective lens, and they don't want to hear someone like me talking shit about what they love. And I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying, hey, it's far from perfect. There's nothing special about the methodology. There actually is no methodology at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Any exercise program works strictly adhered to, whether it's CrossFit, yoga, berries, Orange Theory, all right, F45, just basic strength training.
Mhm.
Any exercise program works when it's adhered to.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's simple, man.
And dude, I actually personally do not get that from you. Like, I'm not reading from you that you're talking shit about CrossFit. What I believe the issue is with CrossFit is that people have such an emotional tie to it because of what
Yeah,
it
they
has done,
do.
because of what it has
Yeah,
done for their life in terms of it may have changed your life, you know, and people feel that way about their first bodybuilding competition as well.
for
But it
sure.
may have changed your life and you have an emotional, like there's a lot of addicts who go to CrossFit and then they're tied to
Yeah,
CrossFit. There's a lot of people who are obese, and I get it too, but that doesn't mean that it's the end all be all. What I think that CrossFit does really well is it gives you a nice bang for your buck for how little time you exercise. That doesn't mean that it's the most efficient, and most people that go to the gym, I don't think really care if it's an hour or an hour and a half. And regardless of the fact that you can do some of the same high intensity protocols, whether you're doing more of a bodybuilding regimen or a strength training regimen, in the same amount of time. CrossFit is just able to make it fun.
dude. The reason why CrossFit blew up is because it was constantly varied. Every day is different, and that appeals to a lot of people
Yeah.
because it's different. It's complex. You're doing all these crazy movements like muscle ups, double unders, handstand walks. All right, and the truth is, complexity appeals to stupid people. All right, they think that you need to go and do some new fancy novel exercise all the time to make progress. When in actuality,
Oh no, we lost them. Tanner, we lost you.
you there?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I just want to make sure that your audio is working still. Okay, we're good. So I agree with you. One thing that I just want to push back a little bit on is I don't think that CrossFitters inherently are stupid, right? I think that a lot of people just want to be interested in what they're doing, and variety gives them that, right? And
Okay.
I don't think that you actually meant like they're stupid or anything like that. I think that you just
No, I
you
said complexity appeals to stupid people. They think that you got to do something different all the time to get better.
yeah,
When in
yeah.
actuality, it's not the truth. Okay, what's going on in so many CrossFit gyms, all right, is it's at the whim of whoever is programming the workouts of that gym. All right. There's
Mhm.
generally almost exclusively no long term thought or goals that are set in place. Most
Mhm.
CrossFit gyms, they just program the workouts based on the equipment they have, the space they have, and they give people mindless workouts to get them tired and sweaty to make them feel better about themselves.
Mhm.
All right. In my opinion, that is doing people a disservice. They are paying you money. All right. And you are stealing from them by just giving them mindless workouts. All right. What you should be doing, if you're actually serious about helping someone, is get them stronger. And the way to get strong is not doing CrossFit. I'm not saying CrossFit doesn't make you stronger.
Mhm.
What I am saying, it is not an efficient way to get stronger because of its constantly varied nature.
Yeah, so can we talk about let's talk about constantly varied real quick, because this is a term that I actually have I have problems with, because I understand what the CrossFitters are trying to say with constantly varied. It's akin to conjugate or undulated periodization, things like that. Different I guess
Bro, those are
programming.
just yeah,
But
those are just trendy buzzwords to make yourself sound smarter than you really are, in
sure.
my
So,
opinion.
so so the idea of conjugate, right, which is something that I did for a long time. I did conjugate system, which was changing the implement and not necessarily going from like a back squat to a sandbag squat, but you would change the maybe from a straight bar to a camber bar or something from 1 week to the next, and you'd use percentages based on that, right? And slowly what I learned over time is that if I wanted to get better at the skill of strength, I probably had to use the implement that I was actually going to use on the platform rather than changing it up all the time.
Yeah, bro.
So
Training needs to be specific. I'm glad
yeah,
you came to that realization.
yeah, law of specificity, right?
There you go.
So the thing that I'm wondering about what is the issue with constantly varied in your eyes, and what does it mean? Because so many of these people would say it's constantly varied, it's not random, right? But to me,
Dude,
constantly
what's the
varied kind of
distinction
does mean
between
that.
constantly varied and random? What's the
Right.
distinction? No one can even say that. No
Hmm.
one can even tell you, oh, what is the difference between constantly varied and random? Bro, it's the same fucking thing. Constantly varied. If you're constantly changing what you're doing, then by definition, that's just fucking random bullshit.
Yeah.
All right? Dude, it is, man. Like, just call it for what it is.
Hmm.
It's just random. In the CrossFit gyms, there are actually good CrossFit gyms, and there are good CrossFit gyms. And I don't want people to think I fucking hate CrossFit because, dude, I train in a CrossFit gym and I love lots of people in the CrossFit community. And there's CrossFit gyms that do an incredibly great job with their classes, and their coaching. They're doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're not actually doing CrossFit. They're doing structured and periodized strength and conditioning work. And then they're
Yeah.
calling it CrossFit because it's just because, dude, all CrossFit is a fucking brand. And
Yeah.
it's a shitty company that doesn't give a shit about their athletes. They're for profit. All right.
Yeah.
They're all for profit. Dude, I got a question. This is
Mhm.
fucking triggering me. All right.
Yeah.
Dude, this is going to be a good podcast. This is going to piss a lot of people off, and I really don't care.
Yeah. The chat is going crazy.
Have you ever done the CrossFit Open? Have you ever done that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you
Twice.
ever judged a CrossFit Open? Have you
I've
ever done
never,
that?
no, I've
You
never
ever
judged
been in a
one.
CrossFit gym? Okay, well, dude, someone like me that's coached CrossFit for like over 7 or 8 years, and I've been a part of CrossFit, you have to pay to take a fucking judge's course so you can judge your members on how to do a fucking burpee or a kettlebell swing or a snatch. You pay CrossFit to take their judge's course,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You do. Then CrossFit, the games, the biggest CrossFit event of the year, they don't even pay their fucking judges.
Hmm.
It's volunteer.
Hmm.
You got to pay to count fucking burpees during the open, which in actuality, bro, that's just a money grab. That's
Yeah.
all it is for CrossFit. They do this thing called the Open to find the world's fittest. Oh, hey, pay me $20 so you can be on our leaderboard. That's a fucking money grab. That's
Yeah.
all it is. They don't need to do the Open to find the world's fittest people. We already know the world's fittest people. They're like probably 20 to 50 individuals. All right.
Hmm.
We already know that. I guarantee it. All right. And then, dude, they fucking make all the CrossFit coaches working at all the CrossFit gyms that are just, dude, CrossFit coaches. They're just trying to fucking make a living as a personal trainer. They do group coaching classes, they get paid. And CrossFit coaches are underpaid by far. Then they got to pay the company of CrossFit to take a fucking judges course. And then when CrossFit goes and does the games, they don't even pay their judges.
Yeah.
It's volunteer, bro. It's a shit fucking company. Like, how the fuck does that work? Dude, I don't understand it. And then what happened this year at the games is an abomination. All right,
Yeah.
bro. To have volunteers on the paddle boards and to let Lazar Dukic, I can't even put it into words, man. I don't
Yeah.
understand how people are gonna stick up for that company, bro. I don't like the company. That's clear. I don't care. Go on record. I do not like the brand of CrossFit. I do not like the company. They don't give a shit about their athletes, and they prove that. And
Yeah.
I guarantee other CrossFit Games athletes feel the same way. They're just not, they don't have the courage to speak up because they're still competing and they have to, you know, follow under the CrossFit rules. So they
Yeah.
care that Dave Castro likes them. Dude, I don't give a fuck about that. All right. I've already competed. I've done my thing.
So I've said this a few times. I think that CrossFit has basically like a trio that people um, don't really know how to make the distinction of. There's CrossFit proper, which would be probably CrossFit HQ and all this stuff, right? The business. And then there's CrossFit the sport, and then there's CrossFit at the affiliate level. And so people stick up for just this word CrossFit rather than saying like, yeah, there's problems with CrossFit HQ or CrossFit Sport or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different ways to grab at that they just defend CrossFit in general. So there's no real definitive thing that they're talking
Dude,
about.
CrossFit is just another generalized term that means so many different things
Yeah.
to many different people.
Yeah.
That's
That's what I'm
why
saying.
I'm
Yeah.
specific, dude. I love the CrossFit community. I love people that do CrossFit. I train in a CrossFit gym. I'm around CrossFit coaches every day,
Mhm.
and those are great people. It's a great gym, a great community, great programming. All right.
Yeah.
What I do not agree with and what I do not like is I've just seen it for what it is CrossFit, the company, the brand of CrossFit.
Yeah.
All right. That's all it is, man. It's just, dude, all it is just competitive fitness.
Yeah.
It's just working out as fast as you can. That's
Yeah.
all fucking CrossFit is, dude. Competitive fitness.
Which I think is actually why CrossFit made so many waves for so many people and actually like produce results quickly, is because it took the general pop. This is why I really, really appreciate CrossFit and the methodology, right? Let's just call it that for now, because I want to get to what the methodology actually is. But what I appreciate about CrossFit so much is that it takes people who maybe have never exercised or have exercised, but have never experienced getting to proximity of failure, which is really the important part, the intensity aspect. But
for sure.
But to say that still, right? It's not the only program that does that. So what I like to say is powerlifting and bodybuilding cannot be defined as a methodology, because if you ask somebody that they bodybuild, right? If like really you're ingrained in the actual fitness community in terms of like social media and all this stuff. When you ask somebody, do they bodybuild? They might say, yeah. And then you'd be like, oh, so you compete. And they'll be like, well, no, I just do bodybuilding exercises at the gym. I do 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 15, whatever. And so for me, it's more like, oh, no. So if you're going to say you do bodybuilding, you compete, but there's still no methodology behind it. So people who go to the gym and say they do bodybuilding, they're really just exercising, right? It's not they're not training. It's not a training regimen.
They're just working out, trying to build muscle.
Exactly. And
that's
so
like,
CrossFit,
I would agree with that statement for sure.
Yeah. And so the same thing with powerlifting, right? But the people who exercise properly or even compete, they're getting very close into proximity of failure. And when you look at an IFBB pro train, after one set of hack squats, dude, of like 15, they look the same as after they did a Metcon in a CrossFit gym, like a 6-minute AMRAP. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Well, dude, bodybuilders in general, they're not going to possess the best cardiovascular fitness because their sport does not require that.
Right.
So they have no need to have, amazing aerobic capacity.
Yeah.
So, that dude, that's again, it's all about training specificity. They're doing what they need to do to build the most muscle, possible, and to build the most aesthetic physique possible.
Yeah.
The goals are completely different, man. So you can't even really compare the two.
Yeah. So I guess my main point that I'm trying to drive there is that there's no other really methodology of fitness in the world besides CrossFit. And so that gets me down to what is the methodology of CrossFit, because I still I've not met one person that can define what the methodology entails.
Dude, I'll tell you what it is. Just look at it. Look at this, man. Look at this objectively.
Yeah.
I played college football, all right, at Rice. I worked out with my football team every day. We'd work out at fucking 6 a.m. and we would train our asses off. We'd go lift heavy as fuck in the morning. And then in the afternoon, we'd come back and do field agility, football specific drills. We did that every fucking day. As a group, we were competing. We were always trying to get better. That is group fitness. Okay.
Yeah.
And dude, it works incredibly well because there's a competitive element.
Yes.
All CrossFit did is they brought that competitive group fitness element to the masses. Because, dude, not everyone plays D1 college football, and not everyone experiences what it's like to go work out in a college football weight room. All right. No one understands that. And so when they go into CrossFit and they're working out with other individuals and there's, oh, hey, do this workout for time. All right. Oh, shit, I got to push myself. And if you're a halfway competitive person, you will push yourself. Yeah. That's the only reason that I gravitated towards CrossFit, because like I said, there was a competitive element to it. Okay. Yeah. But for general population people that have never done anything competitive or athletic in their life, and they go and do CrossFit and they push themselves out of their comfort zone, of course it's going to work. They're going to be like, holy fuck, this is the answer. This is God's gift to the great earth, just because they're actually working out hard and pushing themselves for the first time in their life.
Yeah.
All right. There's no methodology behind that. All it is working out fast, working out hard and pushing yourself.
Yeah.
That's all it is, man.
So I talked to a coach last week who's big in the CrossFit space, and I respect him a lot. And he comes from a traditional strength and conditioning background as well. Like what did exercise phys as his, his degree in whatever. Or maybe not phys, exercise science, whatever it was. Anyway, but he explained to me that CrossFit as a methodology entails like eating well. So I think the paleo diet or whatever, right? It entails exercising in broad time domains. It entails sleep, like all these healthy things, right? That, by the way, normal people who focus on their health do. So it drives me to the question of, So if you're exercising intensely, let's say that you're a bodybuilder who does time under tension, basically, right? Who's like making sure that you're in a time domain. Technically, if you're doing like a 3-second concentric, a 1-second eccentric, and then pausing, that's technically a time domain. If you're doing that, you're focusing on your sleep, you're focusing on eating properly, hydration. Are you by nature then kind of doing CrossFit in their terms?
No,
No,
I think
by
that's
CrossFit's definition. By
dude.
CrossFit's definition.
With all due respect, Justin, I'm not
Yeah.
really sure that's the best example to use. And
Okay.
again, CrossFit has this umbrella term, dude. Technically, anything can be CrossFit,
That's what I'm
dude.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Anything. It's so fucking arbitrary
Yeah.
and broad that, dude, it's become so diluted and watered down that, dude, no one even knows what CrossFit or the methodology is anymore. And I'm just saying, dude, there is no fucking methodology. All right, dude, it's just Greg Glassman, who's a really smart, intelligent guy, coming up with these arbitrary exercises and combining them together and getting people to work out fast. Dude, people that love CrossFit and do CrossFit, all they want to say is, oh, CrossFit's made the world an undeniably healthier place. I've seen it change people's lives and get better at everything. All right. And then they want to act like CrossFit is the greatest thing in the world. But they fail to even think about, all right, this. Do you really think there was no healthy people before CrossFit was invented? Did the world have zero healthy people before 2001? Was there no healthy people before 2001, before CrossFit even existed?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's like people are so blinded by their emotional attachment to CrossFit and how it makes them feel. They are incapable of looking at it objectively and the methodology. And I'm not saying CrossFit doesn't get people results, but it's not CrossFit or the methodology getting people results. It's them working out hard and pushing themselves. And you can work out hard and push yourself anywhere. It doesn't have to be in a CrossFit gym. It could be fucking anywhere, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No, and that is my biggest point of contention with CrossFit is that I don't think it's CrossFit the magic pill. I think it's CrossFit introduces, again, like I said before, people who have either never exercised or been close to proximity of failure to get to exercise intensely, because it's not just CrossFit that produces these same results. And if it were, my big thing is too, if that were the case, why is there no research on it? And then we'll get into the debate. Well, the NSCA prevented CrossFit because of Coca-Cola and all this stuff, right? But what I find really interesting too is that when it comes to talking about CrossFit, like right now our chat is going crazy. Like people are very triggered about this, which is the
totally
emotional
fine.
tie, right? That's the
Tell all the people in your chat, go follow me on YouTube and Instagram and watch my Instagram story for 2 months and see how I live my life. Right, and tell me I'm not fit and tell me I'm not strong.
No. Right? And I don't think there's any debating that. But what is interesting to me is the when it comes to CrossFit compared to let's just call other forms of exercise like methodologies, just for the sake of using terms, right? But when it comes to CrossFit versus powerlifting, bodybuilding, all this stuff, right? You cannot appeal to authority when it comes to studies done on bodybuilding or just normal exercise. But anytime that you get into a debate with CrossFitter, they appeal to authority in the sense that, well, this is what CrossFit says. What your stuff says is wrong.
Dude, that's indoctrination by Glassman. That's all these CrossFitters just being sheep and not thinking for themselves. Okay? Dude, if you want to really get healthy and improve your fitness and actually train for optimal health, first things first, get stronger, optimize your body composition, get as strong and as lean as you can, carry as little body fat and get strong as shit, objectively, measurably stronger through consistent, progressive strength work, not fucking constantly varied bullshit that you're just making up out of thin air. Okay? Then spend 80% of your time training like that, prioritizing strength, bringing up your big barbell lifts, your squat, your deadlift, your press, your bench press, strict pull-ups, strict dips. Those are going to be the best ones that provide you the most value. Then pick a few conditioning metrics like a 2,000-meter row, a 1-mile run. You could do, dude, if you want to do CrossFit shit, fucking do 150 wall balls. Okay? Just those things. Get better at specifics and that's measurable and repeatable. All right. And I promise you will get so much stronger, fitter, and healthier having a structured approach that's consistent, okay, than just doing random bullshit all the time. Like, dude,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to do squats every 5 or 6 weeks. And in between all my back squats, I'm going to throw in all this Olympic lifting, my kipping toes to bar drills. I'm going to do some handstand walks. I'm going to learn how to do a ring muscle up. All right. When I'm really, all I'm doing is just flopping around doing
Yeah.
stupid muscle up drills like a fucking idiot.
So
Okay. Because
Tanner,
that shit happens all the time. And I'm
one,
sorry, bro. I'm triggered. I don't care.
no, you're good. You're good. One thing that I want to point out is that a lot of people are saying right now that you're literally describing CrossFit, which leads me to the point.
No, it's not, bro.
I know, no,
What's the definition of CrossFit?
Dude, I still don't know. I still have no
Okay,
idea.
bro, I'll tell you, bro, because
Yeah.
it's on their website. So all these people in your chat group, all right, and you guys are gonna hate me. And Justin, just so you know, bro, I don't hate you. I respect you.
No,
All right,
hey,
at least you're providing this out there. But
let me tell
the
you,
definition of
let me just
CrossFit.
add
Go
real
ahead,
quick.
go
Can I
ahead.
add something? Okay.
Sure, bro.
Which leads me to say that what you said before, and this is the same idea that I have, is that it is an umbrella and anything can fit the definition of CrossFit. So you
Dude.
literally cannot argue against CrossFit in you know,
Okay.
like to them, right?
Yeah, here, bro. Here's how to train. Okay.
Yep.
Do structured, progressive, consistent strength work 80% of the time. Then spend 40 minutes of your workout getting stronger. And then spend 20 minutes of your workout. So we'll keep it 60 minutes doing just any kind of monostructural conditioning or whatever you want. If you want to get some variety in your training, do it in the Metcon. All right. There you can get your variety. You can get your little CrossFit part of it. But dude, strength work needs to be consistent and progressive week after week, month after month, year after year.
It's boring.
Dude, the definition of CrossFit is constantly varied functional movements done at high intensity. That's on their website. Me saying doing structured, consistent, progressive strength work every week, every month, every year is not constantly varied. That is not CrossFit. That is traditional strength and conditioning that's been around for 50 years.
Can I add something to that real quick?
Go ahead, bro.
So what you just said, right? I agree with 100%. And now something that you said earlier is that some CrossFit gyms are doing it the right way and they're putting it under the umbrella of CrossFit, right?
Yeah, but it's not CrossFit by definition, is it?
Yeah. So that's the point that I want to make is that a lot of gyms are the exception to the rule, right? But CrossFit does have a definition. So even if 99% of CrossFit gyms do the right thing, they are still the exception to CrossFit's rule. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I guarantee it's not 99%. Thousands of affiliates around the world.
Yeah.
The quality of training and so many CrossFit affiliates is so diluted and it's just complete shit because again, CrossFit is a for-profit company and they expanded like crazy and they were handing out level 1 certifications to anyone that was willing to pay $1,000 to go take a fucking 2-day course that was easy as shit that anybody could pass, bro. A fucking dumbass could pass that level 1. And dude, so they basically handed out this level 1 certification as long as you paid them $1,000 and they were handing it out to anybody and everyone. And that, hey, you got your level 1. Now you can go open your own CrossFit affiliate. Just pay us another $6,000, to open your CrossFit affiliate and have our brand CrossFit attached to your gym.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what it is, man. See it for what it is. Everyone that doesn't agree with me, that's okay. But it's probably because you're not looking at it through an objective lens. You were looking at it from an emotional attachment because you love and do CrossFit. And you've never looked at anything else in a different light.
So I'm with you on the majority of this stuff, to be honest with you, because, but I come from other sports. I come from other traditional strength training. I come from all that stuff. So
you have more experience. You're more well-rounded.
Yeah. And I ended up getting my L1 and just for the sake of like having it. And I thought it would be more education because I had a bunch of certifications before, and so I didn't know anything about it, by the way. And so when I went and took the L1, I was kind of like, oh man, dude, $1,000 for this, and I know that that's going to trigger people too. But remember, I've spent thousands of dollars on other education courses and have been given biomechanics and been given energy system training and learned all this other stuff and then taking the L1, I was like $1,000. I should have paid like 500 at most for this, because
Dude,
what I think the L1 does really well is that it teaches maybe somebody who's new to coaching how to command a room. And I think that that's really important. There's an art to that, and not everybody can learn that, right?
dude,
Not
are you
everybody
gonna
can
learn
learn.
that? Are you gonna learn that in fucking 2 days? Are you gonna learn how to coach a class, command a room in 2 days?
No, I think that
Or are you gonna learn that by coaching hundreds of classes over time?
100, yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that what it does is it gives you the introduction, and it teaches you some of the necessary skills. Now, you don't have to take a course to learn that, right? But I think that it's a fast track to at least start on that track. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, hey, you know what? And this is true. This is objective, and I guarantee a lot of people listening to this, if you have your L1, everyone's L1 experience was different.
Yeah.
I paid $1,000 back in 2012, and I had this seminar of CrossFit people all wearing their red shirts. They're the L1. They're the CrossFit staff. These people know what the fuck they're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I showed up to that. I was the fittest person there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I had this fat fucking guy get us in a circle and tell me how to do a fucking air squat when this motherfucker probably couldn't even squat 200 pounds himself.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, this is what I'm fucking paying for. I'm fitter than all these motherfuckers that are lecturing people on how to be fit. It was a joke. That's my experience. I'm not saying every person that got their L1 had the same experience as me.
Yeah.
All right. But that's the truth. That's why, in my opinion, the L1 is a joke. And I'm not saying trying to be disrespectful to anyone that's got their level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, or whatever it is. All right. Dude, people that are in CrossFit will look up and respect that. Someone that's outside of CrossFit, which remember is the most people, because CrossFit is a very niche demographic of people in the fitness industry. No one outside of the CrossFit niche takes anyone seriously with a level 3 or level 4 CrossFit certification. They don't, bro. You know what people take seriously is someone that fucking practices what they preach.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Someone that's actually strong, someone that's actually fit, someone that actually lives the life.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And I don't think, I agree with you 100%.
And dude, you don't learn that, bro. You don't learn that in a fucking 2-day certification.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You learn that by doing.
I agree with you. I think, it's interesting because even education isn't as respected as maybe it should be, because some people, again, like you said, don't live the life that they preach.
Bro,
I think that
Yeah,
there's value in everything, right? There's value in having the knowledge, but if you can't apply the knowledge, it doesn't really matter that much, right?
dude,
and most people aren't even willing to hear
100%.
you out if you don't apply it yourself.
Dude, agreed. Like, dude, I got a fucking CrossFit level certification in 2012, and then they told me, oh, hey, your certification's expired. You need to renew. I got the email. I fucking deleted that shit and just kept living my life.
Yeah.
Because I knew that fucking certification is a joke. All right? Yeah. Dude, what matters is not what certification you have hanging on your wall. Yeah. And I guarantee, dude, have you ever trained anybody? Have you trained people? Have you coached classes? Have you spent any amount of time in your life coaching people?
Me?
Yeah, you, bro. I'm asking you. Have you?
Hundreds, dude. Hundreds.
Good. Okay. Yeah. How many of the hundreds or thousands of clients or classes have you coached? How many people have asked you, hey, man, how many certifications do you have hanging on your wall? How many people ask you that question?
Yeah, literally zero.
Literally zero.
Yeah.
Bro, that is why all these certifications, in the grand scheme of things, they do not matter. Your clients, your members of your gym don't give a shit about that. All they care about is how you can help them. Okay. And the way you do that is by leading by example, living the life, practicing what you preach.
Yeah.
Fucking Greg Glassman or Dave Castro, they do not live the life. They do not practice what they preach. All right. And then they're telling everyone how to do fucking CrossFit and follow that. Dude, everyone is just a bunch of sheep and they're too afraid to voice their own opinions or speak out against them. Dude, I'm not afraid. I don't care. I have no affiliation with CrossFit. I don't own a CrossFit gym. I've done a shitload of CrossFit. I've competed in it. I've made a lot of money competing in it. But I don't care about the company of CrossFit because I don't believe in their leadership.
Yeah.
I think they're a bunch of hypocrites, and I think they're a bunch of money-driven people that actually don't care about helping people get healthy. They just care about charging you money, you know?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I would have a lot more respect for the leadership at CrossFit HQ if they actually took care of themselves or they led by example. They don't, you know? And dude, I think there's a lack of leadership in the CrossFit company right now. I think there is. It's, you know, I don't,
Yeah.
that's just my opinion, man. And
No,
if you guys
I'm with you. I'm with
if
you.
no one agrees with, if you guys don't agree with my opinion, that's fine. Don't consume my content. Okay. But obviously a lot of people do, because I've managed to build a fairly substantial following on social media of over, I got over 500,000 people following me, and
Yeah.
it's growing every day because actually people understand what I'm saying is truth. And the reason, the only way I've been able to reach this truth is through experience, by living it.
Well, I find a lot of value in what you say, or in your content rather, because you're teaching like real principles of exercise, right? Progressive overload, intensity principles, and all things like that, that I think get lost in the weeds a lot of times by a lot of people. And you're very big on like compound movements, it seems like, too, and building those up rather than just doing isolation. So I can personally really appreciate your content. I haven't
Thanks,
seen
bro.
one. Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
haven't seen, and this is not just to gas you up for people, because people will probably think this, but I have not seen one thing yet that I disagree with or that has triggered me. And I also don't believe that you're shitting on CrossFit. I think that you're
I'm
giving a
not,
perspective on it. And
dude.
it's just a
I'm
testament
not
to how
shitting.
it's a
I'm
testament to
shitting on
how
the company
emotional
and
people
their
are.
lack of leadership.
Yeah. I think it's a
That's it.
testament. It's a testament to how emotionally tied to CrossFit people are, that they keep that. Even our chat right now, like, to be honest with you, the chat is not, I might lose the little bit of following that I have right now, but a lot of it is ad hominem attacks. It's not actually attacking your ideas or what you believe. It's just saying like you're not following CrossFit, basically saying all this stuff and whatever. So dude, I want to get on something a little bit more structured here and just ask you why. One thing that comes up is CrossFit claims to be predictable. Can you elaborate why it's not
CrossFit
predictable?
claims to be predictable.
They say that there's
I don't know if
predictable
I've ever
outcomes.
have okay, predictable outcomes by what? Getting fitter and healthier. That's predictable. Is that what they're saying? Is that what you're? I'm not sure I understand that statement.
Yeah. So that's a problem that I have as well, is I don't really understand what it means either, because of the nature
Here,
of
dude,
constantly
I'll give you
varying.
something. I'll give you something predictable.
Mm,
Get stronger at all your basic barbell lifts and get better at your 2K row. All right. And you will predictably be stronger, fitter, and healthier
yeah.
doing 5 things. I guarantee, dude, I could get anyone listening to this fucking podcast stronger, fitter, and healthier doing 5 things, all right, extremely well, rather than doing all these arbitrary, complex, random bullshit CrossFit movements. All right, you could combine all the fucking movements in CrossFit you wanted. You can put them whatever combination you wanted, and I'll guarantee I'll get you better results doing 5 things all the
Yeah.
time, over and over and over again.
Yeah. So where I would think that this idea is flawed, at least on the CrossFit side, is that they say it's predictable. You'll predictably get fitter and stronger, all these things, right? I don't
Dude,
think
you'll
that you can.
predictably get fitter and stronger just training hard.
Well,
That's
yeah,
it. It doesn't have to be CrossFit.
I don't think that you can predictably get stronger by constantly varying movements, right? It has to be some sort of linear movement, linear
Dude,
periodization.
Mark
Adding 5 pounds
Ripito
to the
said
same bar
this.
every week.
Dude, Mark Ripito said this perfectly. Because, dude, people love to talk shit about Mark Ripito, you know, and starting strength or whatever. And I understand that. He could do a better job of taking care of himself, but that does not mean he doesn't know what he's talking about. Because I guarantee Mark Ripito has forgotten more about training than anyone doing CrossFit has ever known.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the truth. Mark Ripito said, you cannot predictably increase the expression of any single training modality when you are constantly varying what that training modality is.
Yeah, 100%.
The operative word is predictably. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not saying you're not going to PR doing CrossFit. Okay. But the reason people PR and their clean and jerk or their squat or whatever, their muscle up doing CrossFit for years is because they're still a novice level trainee.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And dude, anytime you put yourself in a competitive environment like a class and they say, hey, we're going to work up to a heavy back squat today. If you've never done a bunch of heavy back squats, it's super fucking easy to PR.
Yeah.
That's fucking easy.
So
but you
check
can't
this out.
predictably do that.
So check this out. A lot of people are telling me to push back on what you're saying right now. There's nothing that Tanner just said that I disagree with from a traditional strength and conditioning background. If you take somebody who is brand new, untrained, from not, brand new, untrained, and you bring them into a CrossFit gym, they will predictably get stronger and more fit. Absolutely.
Only for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Only until
yes.
the novice.
Cut out one more time. Tanner, you just cut out again. No, he just cut out. Tanner, are you there? Keeping it real. Tell me exactly. Hey, Hiller, what's up? Keeping it real. Tell me exactly what you think he's saying is wrong. Tanner, you cut out, dude. I don't think that Tanner gave Mark Ripito a pass. He's never said that Mark Ripito is a standing example of health and fitness. Right here, here's one thing that I think that needs to get straight. When you guys are comparing your average everyday CrossFitter to maybe a power lifter or somebody who's a bodybuilder, you're going, especially in the competitive sense, and especially in the competitive realm, right? Is that you guys are comparing apples to oranges. The person who's going to CrossFit, who's brand new to CrossFit, is looking for longevity. They're looking for just health and just fitness, right? But when you're talking about somebody like Mark Ripito or somebody who's trying to maximize strength or body composition in a bodybuilding sense, their goal is not longevity. It's not health. It's not fitness. Their goal is to be the best at their given sport. CrossFit proper as a methodology is not looking to be the best at any of those things. They're looking to be generalists, from what I understand. Someone like Mark Ripito or even Mitchell Hooper or whatever, they are not trying to be standing examples of fitness and wellness. They're looking to be good at sport being powerlifting, sport being strongman, sport being things like that. They're not looking to be the best, the most healthy person. That's where I think you guys are getting a little bit confused with this. So why don't you push back on that against Tanner? Tanner and I are agreeing on a lot of things. There's not really much for me to disagree with. Tanner, one thing that I guess I should bring up, right, is are you there?
I'm here, bro.
Okay. One thing that I do want to say, I don't think this is a pushback on what you said at all. They're saying that
push back, man. Push back all you want. Tell everyone in there.
Hey, trust me, dude.
I'm good with having a civil discourse, and it's okay. You're allowed to have your opinion.
But dude, trust me, if there was something that I heard from you that I disagreed with, I would push back for sure. I haven't heard anything really that I disagree with. Again, we come from similar backgrounds.
I appreciate that, Justin. Maybe because you're dealing in facts. You're dealing in facts like me. You're not dealing in feelings.
One thing that they're saying is that you give Mark a pass, but you don't give
Greg Glassman?
I don't even entirely know what they're saying. But here's one thing that I want to say. Ready? Is that your average everyday CrossFitter who goes into the gym, maybe someone who's new or somebody who's going to CrossFit just to be a CrossFitter, not to be competitive, right? They're going in there with the objective of just being healthy. And I think that in general, for somebody that just wants to exercise and be healthy, they don't need to be on a progressive program because you can maintain strength. For somebody that just wants to be healthy, you can maintain strength, you can maintain cardio, all this stuff by just doing CrossFit proper. Now, if you're trying to maximize things, if you're trying to be a specialist, that's different, right? So if you guaranteed want to build more muscle, it's probably the best thing to do a hypertrophy program. If you guaranteed want to get stronger as a trained individual, not a newbie, somebody trained would be like 2 years plus, right? Would you agree on that?
2 to 3 years, and you got to have developed foundational strength. You have to have built a base.
Yeah, sure. So then that person should probably follow a periodized program or a linear program, adding 5 pounds to the bar every week, adding 10 pounds, whatever it is, Now, but what my biggest point that I just explained to them is they're getting things mixed up. somebody who is a power lifter and competes in powerlifting, or Mark Ripito even, right? Whose main objective is strength. It's not health from
Yes.
what I understand. His main objective is strength. Somebody like Mitchell Hooper, whose main objective is to be a strongman competitor. These are not people who are trying to be examples of health. They are specialists. They're specializing in a certain area. They are competitive. Or so even somebody like Dave Tate, he was a specialist. His goal was not health and longevity. It was powerlifting. So to use them as an
Yeah.
example of health and wellness is not fair, because it doesn't measure up to somebody who's trying to be healthy and well.
Yeah, but again, what people they're taking me out of context. They're not listening to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying only do strength work and zero cardio. And if you followed me or consume any of my content, you will know I do a shitload of cardio.
Yeah.
And I think it is important. However, strength is the platform that everything else is built upon. Spend 80% of your time getting stronger, and then spend 20% of your time doing cardio, and eat responsibly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And again, for the average person that just walks in off the street and wants to be healthy, okay, doing CrossFit classes is great. It will accomplish that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be CrossFit.
Yeah.
Any
Exactly.
exercise program, when it's strictly adhered to, will improve health. It could
Orange
be
Theory,
motherfucking yoga,
F45.
Orange Theory,
Yeah.
F45,
Yeah.
Barry's
100%.
boot camp.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why that's why it's like, it blows my mind that people think, oh, it's got to be CrossFit. CrossFit's the magic. No, it's not. It's not,
Right.
dude. CrossFit is just a brand, just like F45 is a brand. All it is exercise. And if you get people to exercise fast, okay, with some intensity, and keep in mind they're a complete beginner, of course they're going to get great results, because you're taking basically a bag of shit who's never done anything in their life and you're making them do something. Of course, you're going to be less shitty if you start doing something. It doesn't matter if it's CrossFit, F45, yoga, Pilates, berries. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Really, anything works when you're a beginner. That's the point I'm trying to make.
100%, dude. Yeah. Somebody said that I was telling them not to use Ripito as a comparison, but Tanner is the one who brought him up as a comparison. Tanner didn't bring Ripito up as a comparison. He just talked about what Ripito believes in. He's not saying that saying Ripito is the shining example of health.
Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. And I'll be the first. I'll go on record. Mark Ripito could do a better job of taking care of himself, just like Greg Glassman could. However, as far as a philosophical understanding of what training is, Mark Ripito is way better and way smarter, and his understanding of training and programming is way better than Greg Glassman's, in my opinion. Okay? Remember, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion.
Yeah.
I do not agree with Greg Glassman's definition of fitness. I don't agree, because he doesn't practice what he preaches or anything like that. But what Mark Ripito understands is strength is the platform that everything's built upon. Okay.
Yeah.
Getting someone stronger is the single greatest thing you can do for that person to improve their health. Again, think of an older person, or think of yourself as you go through the aging process, as you become 50, 60, 70 years old. Naturally, you are going to slow down. You're not going to be doing these crazy CrossFit Metcons that you're doing now as a 30-year-old when you're 60. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you need to do is still continue to prioritize strength so you can preserve your muscle mass, so you can keep moving your body. That is why strength is more important than doing random Metcons.
One thing that I will say, though, that CrossFit does do really well is that, yeah, we're not going to rip and run the same way that we would when we're 80 as when we're like 40 or 50 even. But it does do a good job at like making sure that you can still do some variation of the workout, right? That's one thing that it does do well. And one thing that I will say too, it's to your point, but also to another point. I think that strength training is probably one of the best thing that you can do in terms of longevity, but also maximizing body composition too, right? So like,
dude, absolutely.
Making sure you're lean, eating good food.
Lifting weights is the single greatest way to spend your time exercising. It's not doing CrossFit. It's not doing yoga. It's not doing berries. It's not doing F45. It's lifting weights so you can preserve and maintain your skeletal muscle. How are you gonna preserve and maintain the muscle? What's gonna do a better job of maintaining and preserving your muscle? Doing random CrossFit workouts or lifting a barbell? Answer the question, please.
Yeah. Okay. I have a nuanced answer to this. Okay.
There's no nuance, bro.
No,
It's
because
getting stronger.
I no, I know where you're going with this. I agree with you. There's the one thing that I would say, there's a caveat, right? There is a caveat. In a trained individual, I think it's a lot easier to maintain muscle mass doing random bullshit than it is for a person who's not as well trained. So long as nutrition is in check and you're still keeping a base level of strength.
Even if you are a trained individual and you have a baseline of strength, as you go through the aging process, that baseline and that level of strength and muscle mass is going to decline if you're doing random bullshit all the time.
Yeah. Can we define
That's why CrossFit is flawed because it's constantly varied. You're not prioritizing strength work.
I agree. So what I want to ask though is, are you saying as you get older that you have to keep trying to add 5 to 10 pounds to the bar every single week? Or are you saying maintenance level?
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm not saying that.
Cool.
I'm saying try to maintain and preserve it the best you can. Dude, we're all going to die. We're all going to eventually lose muscle mass. However, the people that actively fight to try to maintain and preserve the muscle mass by lifting fucking weights, not doing CrossFit, random CrossFit, those people are going to live longer as long as they're eating responsibly and at least moving their body, going for a walk. You don't have to do this high intensity CrossFit bullshit to be fucking healthy, bro. You don't. Just lift weights, maintain your muscle, and do some kind of light cardio. Do whichever kind of cardio you enjoy most. And if that's CrossFit, do fucking CrossFit.
Yeah.
All right. That's totally fine. But you should lift weights and preserve your muscle as you go through the aging process.
You just answered the question that I was going to ask you, which is, do you still believe though for longevity that you need to have some sort of aerobic training in there? You just answered that. So
dude, there's this study, Peter Attia, he's gone viral. People probably know who Peter Attia is. He's this bald doctor, really smart guy. He's quoted this scientific study that VO2 is one of the best predictors of life expectancy, and longevity. All right. You know what else is an incredible predictor of life expectancy and longevity is your leg strength and your grip strength.
Yeah. Yep. They're correlative.
Dude, it doesn't have to be VO2 max. And again, you cannot do cardio if you lack the foundational strength to move your body, to do the actual cardio. You have to be strong enough.
Yeah.
That's why if someone only runs, they only run or they only do cardio or they only do CrossFit Metcon, that's all they do, they'll get fit for a while. But then after they reach the post-novice trainee level, they're no longer a noob and they're no longer making those beginner gains. If they keep training the same way and just doing random CrossFit workouts or just only cardio, they're going to slowly decline as they go through the aging process because they're not sending their body a signal to build or maintain muscle because they're not lifting weights.
Yeah.
That dude, if anyone listens to this conversation today, I just seriously hope you take that away. Lift weights to preserve and maintain lean body mass as you go through the aging process.
Yeah. And also,
that is the single greatest thing you can do.
He's also not saying that there is an importance or that cardio is not important or doing something.
I'm not saying it's not important. And I said, dude, I do a shitload of cardio. If there's anyone that listens to this podcast that can beat me in a CrossFit workout or on a rowing machine, dude, I'll respect you. But I seriously doubt there's many people that are going to be in better shape than me saying this, listening to this. All right. I guarantee that, dude. I'm not trying to sound like an arrogant asshole. And I don't care if you guys think I have an ego or if you think I'm arrogant. I'm just stating facts. All right. That's the truth, man. If you don't want to see that, that's because you probably love CrossFit and you're not looking at this objectively.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Man, there's so much there, dude. There's so much there. I think that what you said, I have a lot of agreements in. I don't disagree with the majority of what you said. And I think that a lot of people are looking for they're looking for problems in things that you're saying rather than like looking at the broad spectrum of what you're saying, right? Because
Dude, their
what you're
feelings are hurt.
saying,
They're looking at it there because their feelings are hurt. All
yeah,
right. And they're getting emotional. They're not looking at this. They're prioritizing their feelings over facts.
yeah.
And dude, if you like CrossFit and you do CrossFit, I'm happy for you.
Hmm?
All right. Do what
If it's
makes you
something you can
happy at the
stick
end of the
to,
day.
if it's something you can
There
stick
you,
to long term,
sure.
and you are able to do it intensely and you lift weights and you do the cardio, it's the same principles as like somebody who goes to the gym for maybe 45 minutes, hits weights intensely, and then they want to go do 15 minutes of Stairmaster.
For sure, dude.
It's
Like again, I'm a fan of exercise, man. That's the
yeah.
truth. I want anyone and everyone to exercise. And if another thing that I hope people take away from this conversation, bro, is I am passionate about health and fitness. Okay, I've dedicated my life to it, and I guarantee I'm going to continue to grow because I'm putting out this message because it's a fundamental truth, and I
Yeah.
want to help people. There's nothing wrong with CrossFit. I don't hate anyone that does CrossFit. I'm just saying, if you want to get optimally healthy and you want to maximize your time while you're exercising, it's lifting weights. Then do some cardio however you want to do it. Okay. What makes me happy, how I like to exercise, I like doing basic barbell lifts. I like getting strong, measurably stronger, so I can see that I'm improving. When I was doing CrossFit, I didn't know if I was getting better or not because it was constantly varied. Okay, I didn't know. And so then eventually I was like, why the fuck am I doing this?
Yeah.
I just I asked myself the hard question, why the fuck am I doing all these random workouts? Am I actually getting better or am I just maintaining and kind of slowly decaying? Once I took a more structured, periodized, less random approach to my training, I started getting better. I got stronger with the barbell, my squat, my deadlift, my press, my bench press went up. I got better at my strict pull-ups, my dips, my strict muscle ups.
Hmm.
I got better on a rowing machine. All right. I enjoy doing that because I can actually see noticeable and measurable improvement workout to workout, week to week.
Yep.
People that do CrossFit, they don't think about it like that. They don't actually know if they're getting better. All they actually know is they're showing up doing a CrossFit workout and they're making themselves tired and sweaty so they feel better about themselves that day. They never actually look at the big picture.
So would it be fair to say that let's pretend we're going to create the best CrossFit program right now. Would it be fair to
It
say
wouldn't
that
be, I wouldn't call it CrossFit. I'll just
okay.
be honest. Sorry,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
go
no,
ahead.
that's
Go
fine.
ahead.
So if we were going to program for an affiliate or something, right? You'd probably pick like a few movements, maybe the squat, the snatch, the clean, you'd separate them by days
All right,
to get
I'll tell you exactly what I would do.
well
You
no
want
no
to
no
know
just
what you want to know what I would do?
I
Do you
guess
want
what
to
I
know what I would do, or do you
well
want
I,
to actually discuss it? We can. It's up
well
to
so
you.
I guess what I'm thinking is like maybe for like the athlete the CrossFit athlete, but even somebody who wants to maximize muscle and all this stuff is you would find movements to stick to for a period of like maybe 4 to 6 weeks, do it in a periodized way. And then maybe your variation, your randomness comes in the conditioning metcon, but you'd also have some sort of structured monostructural work on different days. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. Is that why that didn't? I don't pay much attention to what's going on in the CrossFit world anymore. But from my understanding, when I did the Savant podcast, because the programming on CrossFit main site is so bad and so just illogical, they actually had to come up with this thing called CAP, whatever, the CrossFit affiliate programming. And so all these CrossFit gyms, they actually have no idea what they're doing. They don't know how
Yeah.
to think about exercise because they just don't know because they've
Yeah.
never done it. All right. They have to follow something called whatever CAP programming so they can actually ensure that their gym is delivering decent programming to their members. That's why CAP was invented because CrossFit main site is so bad. Is that fair to say?
I don't pay attention to CrossFit main site, dude.
All right. Well, dude, I don't either because it's
Yeah.
fucking bullshit. It's literally bullshit, and that's coming from the horse's mouth from
Mm.
CrossFit main site. So that's why they developed. Savan told me that's why they developed whatever CAP, CrossFit affiliate programming. So CrossFit gyms that are owned by people that don't know what they're doing, they can just follow this CAP programming. And dude, it's called CrossFit, but all it is just structured strength and conditioning programming with a bit of variance probably done in the Metcon, but at least it probably has more consistency and structure to it than just doing constantly varied random bullshit like what you'll see on CrossFit main site, because people, enough affiliate owners realize that main site is just complete dog shit, and they realize, oh shit, we got to actually do something about this and get our shit together. So they invented this thing called CrossFit affiliate programming, so they can actually give people decent workouts when they show up to their gym. I might be wrong. But that's just how I objectively look at it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be able to speak to it because I have no idea. I have
All right.
no
Well,
clue.
anyone that's listening to this or anyone that listens to this, if I'm wrong about CAP programming, then dude, you can feel free to whatever, disagree with me and call me out. I could care less.
We
But
got Taylor
that's why
Self.
CAP was invented.
Taylor Self in the chat saying 0 balls. I think to me, Taylor, there's literally nothing that I disagree with Tanner on in terms of this. So there's not no balls. It's I don't see something wrong. So if you think that there's something wrong, then maybe you should point it out rather than ad hominem attacks. I don't understand.
Actually,
this.
Taylor, while Taylor's here, here's what he should do. Okay. Keep doing your CrossFit competitive programming. All right. Let a few more years go by.
Which is probably linear, by the way.
Oh, I have no idea how Taylor works out. I could care less. Okay. Keep competing. Do the best you can. Try to make it as a CrossFit athlete. See how much money you make. Okay. See how that works out for you after 3 or 4 years. Then you're going to realize, holy shit, trying to be a CrossFit athlete and trying to make a living is not very possible. All right. CrossFit, the sport, is a fringe sport at best. No one takes it seriously unless you do CrossFit. It's never going to be in the Olympics. No one is getting a scholarship to go play CrossFit. Okay.
Yeah.
So, dude, keep doing it though. I wish you all the best, and I hope you do good, man. But I'm just letting you know, you're going to make a lot more money and be a lot more successful training people, coaching people. And if you actually want to help those people, you'll stop giving them constantly varied random workouts, and you'll make them just get stronger, okay, by doing consistent, structured strength work. All right. You'll learn that as you go on, bro, as you become an older and more experienced coach. But dude, you'll figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually wonder what his programming looks like day to day, because I'm sure, to be honest with you, and to be fair to him, I'm sure that his programming actually does look pretty similar to like what we agree with. You know,
because what any good CrossFitter does that's actually just trying to compete in the sport of fitness, they do strength and conditioning, and then they get the CrossFit constantly varied aspect with their Metcons.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm just letting you know, a CrossFitter that wants to be really good at CrossFit just needs to get stronger. The stronger they are, the better they're going to be. Okay. The better they'll be at anything. Getting stronger is going to make you better at anything.
Yeah. 100%.
It's that fundamental. And then again, think about the average person, because most people aren't CrossFit athletes. All right. Or they're not elite CrossFit athletes, just general people. So let's actually make this conversation about most people. And I wasn't trying to take a stab at Taylor, but if he's going to join this conversation, I'll just go ahead and give him my 2 cents, because I'm not going to talk to you on social media outside of that. All right?
Yeah, no, they think that you are taking a stab at him. I didn't.
Well, okay. Hey, if everyone wants to know the truth, Taylor took a stab at me first, and then he made this fucking random Instagram story talking shit about some girl doing an overhead press. I'm not saying I agree with that. It's just fucking stupid ass drama. So I blocked his ass because I don't even need that in my life. All right. Him and his little CrossFit buddies, all they want to do is just make drama about people because people feed on drama, because people have nothing better to do with their time. I don't want to talk about that. Really, 1 sec. Sorry, Justin.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. You're good.
I just want to tell the average person, if you really just want to get healthier and better, get stronger. That's the single greatest thing you can do to help yourself.
Yeah.
Add in some cardio, add in whichever form of cardio that you enjoy the most.
Get stronger, maximize body composition, and a little bit of cardio. I agree. So don't be a fat sack of shit. Be lean.
Yeah.
Somewhat lean.
Very good.
Yeah. I agree, dude. Well, hey, man, I really appreciate you coming on here and taking the time to, kind of voice your opinion and give clarity on some of the stuff that you said. I think a lot of these people.
Dude, I don't even know this was a fucking CrossFit podcast. Is this a CrossFit podcast?
No, I don't say that I'm a CrossFit podcast. I say that I'm CrossFit like fitness adjacent, because CrossFit is definitely not the only thing that I'm interested in terms of health and fitness. You know, like I said,
That's good.
I
That's
come from a traditional strength and conditioning background. I have 10 plus years in actual strength and conditioning, helping like athletes get to higher levels. I competed in strongman, bodybuilding, powerlifting myself. I've competed at a very low level of CrossFit. So I'm interested in all modalities. I find value in every single modality, or modality, if you want to call it, of fitness.
that's
And
great.
again, I think that CrossFit is really good at group fitness and making people who have never touched intensity before, whether trained or untrained. I think what CrossFit does really well is even people who are experienced lifters and experienced trainees have never trained at the extent that CrossFit offers in terms of intensity. And I think that there's a lot of value in that as well.
Yeah, most people, I would agree with that, dude. But when I first started CrossFit after playing college football, I got weaker. That's the truth
I
because
got
I
weaker
wasn't
doing CrossFit
doing,
too.
yeah, I got
Mhm.
weaker. But
Yeah.
again, I didn't come into CrossFit as, an untrained person. I was already an advanced level trainee.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. Same.
then once I saw CrossFit and just doing random bullshit, I actually stopped doing CrossFit by definition, and then I just started doing strength and conditioning, and I just like randomized some metcons. That's all I did, and that's how I trained and how I competed. And if I was going to go back and compete in the sport of CrossFit, that's exactly what I would do again. I would
Yeah.
prioritize strength work, and then I would get the variance in my training from, you know, doing just metcons, whatever that was that day. But it wouldn't be constantly varied, and I would always be prioritizing strength and preserving strength, whether I was competing as an athlete or I was just an everyday general population person.
Yeah, for sure. Well, dude,
And
I
again,
appreciate you
hey,
coming on, man.
I'll just last thing, man. I'm sorry, I didn't know anything about your podcast. I don't know anything about you, and I didn't know there was going to be CrossFitters listening to this. Again, I do not hate the CrossFit community. I don't hate anyone that does CrossFit. I just think the methodology is there is no methodology. CrossFit is a fringe sport, and if you like it, do it. Good for you. I'm happy for you. Doing CrossFit is certainly better than, you know, doing a lot of other things that you could do. So just I'll leave it at that, man. If you guys, I don't really want to deal with any more CrossFit drama, to be honest, man. I got everything I
Yeah,
needed to
dude.
get off my chest. I want to keep living my life and continue to focus on what matters to me. If you guys want to spend your whole life in this little tunnel vision thing of CrossFit, and that's all you want to think about, and that's all you want to do, be my guest. The world is bigger than CrossFit. The fitness industry is bigger than CrossFit, and I hope more people realize that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, dude. All right, bro. Well, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'll let you know when this officially goes up, when I edit it and stuff. And yeah, dude,
Do
that's
whatever
about
you
it. I
got to do,
appreciate you,
Justin.
dude.
I appreciate you having me on, man. I'm glad that you and I agree on those things.
Yeah, dude. Keep rocking it. I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you, dude.
Take care.
Bye. All right, guys. I'm going to